How's it going, guys? The Cruise 51 here today. We're back with a brand new video. Talk about the Formula 1 2017 season, what's happened so far, and yeah, so we started off the year, brand new looking cars, all new regulations, and a new takeover from Bernie Ecclestone with Liberty Media. So yeah, then we head into the first race of the season. What would happen? Would Mercedes dominate? Turned out not to be, as Ferrari challenged Mercedes throughout Australia. We didn't know what was going to happen, what could have happened, and yeah, Vettel won the race, and from there the race was pretty fine. It was okay, it wasn't at its best, but as I said, it was quite good because obviously we needed a new challenger in Formula 1. So it's now, obviously we all know by now, as we had the mid-season, Mercedes versus Ferrari, but mainly Vettel versus Hamilton for the championship. But yeah, as we headed on into China after Vettel's win in Australia, it was looking more feisty, as obviously we heard it was pretty mixed up in China with wet conditions, of Sainz starting on the super softs on the dry tyres and everybody else was on the inters. Ferrari mucked up though, obviously, just because he was pitting for the slicks a couple laps before the crash with Antonio Giovinazzi, and that cost him a chance because the red flagged it and I couldn't go through I had to go through the pit lane, the cars, which obviously led other cars to have an advantage. So because all going at the same place, they could pit and gain, or basically lose no time or even gain time. And then Hamilton became victorious in the end, but the cars, they were all close, very close between them all. So Hamilton victorious in China. We headed on to Bahrain now, which was a thriller for Grand Prix, as we had Valtteri Bottas, who got his first ever pole position, who started pole, and then Vettel Vettel in third place with Lewis Hamilton in second. And yeah, we turned out to be most of the race. It was between the two Red Bulls, Ferrari and the two Mercedes, so that would be obviously top 5 there, and it was really turning out to be a really good Grand Prix because obviously Ferrari's challenged in the end, and then they managed to come out in victory because Hamilton had a penalty for backup Ricardo. But overall the racing was fantastic. Bottas, Vettel going wheel to wheel, Hamilton getting past Ricardo and all that, but brilliant racing in Bahrain, thriller for Grand Prix. That was really exciting races. But now we're headed into Russia. Yeah, what can I say about this Grand Prix? Not much, to be honest with you. Well, the thing that made it better was obviously Valtteri Bottas winning his first race, and yeah, that's how it turned out to be. Bottas won the Russian Grand Prix. Vettel was right behind him at the very end of the race. The race was actually turned out to be a brilliant Grand Prix right at the end, but all through there was no overtaking barely or whatsoever. Qualifying was probably even more exciting, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was a Russian Grand Prix. Not many words to be said there. As now we move on to the Spanish Grand Prix, and obviously we all know how good this race was. We had two Red Bulls, Ferrari and the two Mercedes, so that would be obviously top 5 there, and it was really turning out to be a really good Grand Prix because obviously Ferrari's challenged in the end, and then they managed to come out in victory because Hamilton had a penalty for backup Ricardo. But overall the racing was fantastic. Bottas, Vettel going wheel to wheel, Hamilton getting past Ricardo and all that, but brilliant racing in Bahrain, thriller for Grand Prix. That was really exciting races. But now we're headed into Russia. Yeah, what can I say about this Grand Prix? Not much, to be honest with you. Well, the thing that made it better was obviously Valtteri Bottas winning his first race, and yeah, that's how it turned out to be. Bottas won the Russian Grand Prix. Vettel was right behind him at the very end of the race. The race was actually turned out to be a brilliant Grand Prix right at the end, but all through there was no overtaking barely or whatsoever. Qualifying was probably even more exciting, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was a Russian Grand Prix. Not many words to be said there. As now we move on to the Spanish Grand Prix, and obviously we all know how good this race was. We finally had Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel on the track scrapping away for the victory. So that was good to see. We all know how the start went. Raikkonen and Verstappen crashed off because the Bottas obviously 3 wide in the first corner with these two bigger cars. You can't get these wider cars through the first corner in Spain. We all know how it ended in disaster. The whole pack was all chaotic after that happened. Then we got to mid-race where there was electrical safety car because of Stoffel Van Dorn and Felipe Massa coming together, and yeah, then obviously that boosted Mercedes because they pitted as soon as the virtual safety car ended. Vettel to come round and pitted again, which means he lost time because it was under racing speed for Hamilton, so he was going to catch him, and he came right out side by side with Sebastian Vettel, wheel banging into the first corner. Amazing to see between the two. And yeah, as I said, I really like Hamilton, so I'm not going to be towards Vettel fans, but obviously Vettel was a bit too aggressive and he went a bit wide there, but don't blame me guys, I'm sorry if you think the other way around. But yeah, also what helped Hamilton's race was Bottas holding up Vettel, which gave Hamilton the better advantage in the race as well. That really helped Hamilton's race. And then Hamilton got past him on the track just a couple of laps later after they came side by side in the first corner. Hamilton swooped past him with the DRS and took the lead and won the Grand Prix from there. So that was the Spanish Grand Prix. Now let's move on to the Monaco Grand Prix. So we all know how this happened. Of course we would expect no overtaking because wider cars this year, how the hell are you going to overtake? It was a pretty even race. To start off with, Raikkonen was leading, Vettel was second, Bottas, Verstappen, all the ones were all close. Hamilton was making his way up the field but couldn't get past anybody. And yeah, they made it to mid-race, like nothing was happening to be honest, but it was all spreaded out the cars, and especially with the Ferraris. They were the only two that was really battling for the lead. And then we had them to the pit stop phase where Ricciardo looked like he was going to come into it, but unfortunately didn't. Obviously, Ferrari, they boxed Raikkonen early, he got held up by traffic a lot, boxed Vettel a couple of laps later, and he was on flying laps and got out ahead just ahead of Raikkonen, which is very annoying. Then we had a massive crash between Jenson Button and Pascal Wehrlein, the returning Jenson Button to replace Fernando Alonso, who was away to do the Indy 500. And yeah, he literally went for a gap, fair enough for him, and then just about killed Wehrlein. He went sideways into the barriers and landed, basically the car was on its side in the barriers. Obviously had to safety car, I was going to say red flag there, also had the safety car, and then we got back racing. Verstappen, Ricciardo, Bottas tried to get the overtake done, unfortunately didn't. Perez was getting hit off everywhere and hitting the walls and other things. Hamilton unlucky as well, but Vettel came away for the victory in Monaco, so Raikkonen was cost a victory unfortunately for him. But yes, we now move on to Canada. Now Canada was a really exciting Grand Prix. We had to start, Hamilton led from Vettel. Verstappen had a brilliant start, round the outside about 3 cars I believe, and Vettel had damage to his front wing. Then we had an absolute mental crash into the second corner with Carlos Sainz, Felipe Massa and Romain Grosjean, which Sainz, believe, according to Grosjean, turned into him. Grosjean had done an amazing and literally a spectacular save, and then Sainz just went spinning out like it would be on an F1 game and hit Massa innocent, front wing gone, car gone, that's it, bang. But there's a safety car for that. As soon as we got started, Verstappen tried to challenge Hamilton for the lead on the restart, and then Vettel's front wing, the left front right end plate I believe, just came fleeing off, banged into the wall, just debris everywhere. And then obviously a couple of laps later he pitted. They could have stayed out, but obviously Ferrari doing the best strategy and call they could possibly do. Got to mid-race, it all started to calm down a little bit, then it was between the Force Indy's, Ferrari and Kimi Raikkonen and possibly the Red Bull. As we got to that there, it all came down the last 20 laps, battling away Vettel, Perez, Ocon, Ricciardo, Raikkonen, but Raikkonen had problems with his car, and unfortunately that was his race kind of blown for there, but he brought the car home. Yeah, so we came to the last 5 laps to go. Vettel, Ocon, Perez, chaotic first corner as Vettel almost gets taken out somehow. Managed doesn't get going to the back of Ocon. Ocon goes to get make the move on Perez. Vettel makes the move on Ocon. Absolutely made because you can see Vettel was actually shaking the car into the first corner, like literally just shaking about. And then into the first corner we went. Ocon off the track. Vettel got past, and then Vettel made a brilliant move on Perez at the final corner. If nowhere, it was like Nico Rosberg in 2016 when he was trying to get past Max Verstappen. It was like that, and then obviously one lap left we had Alonso who retired and he was in the points, so that couldn't have went any worse. But yeah, it was Lewis Hamilton who won the Canadian Grand Prix. From there, Max Verstappen obviously unfortunately did retire mid-race, which was very annoying because he could have been up with Hamilton later on to the Grand Prix. Yeah, I should have really mentioned that a bit earlier, but I forgot there. But yeah, we moved on to Baku now, the best race of the season so far. Rated 9.8 I believe, was it? Yeah, it was 8.9 or something like that out of 10 on F1 Fanatic. It's in the top 10 races from 2008 now. So we got underway. Hamilton led Bottas, led Vettel, who almost went to the back of Bottas, which Bottas almost went to the back of Hamilton. Raikkonen almost going to the back of Bottas as well. And then from there we had contact between Raikkonen and Bottas. Bottas coming away with a lot of damage, and also Raikkonen too with the rear tyre, obviously had to pit. We had more drama as later on we had Daniel Kvyat, who obviously stopped on the track, and then we had the safety car, and from there we got racing, and then Hamilton backed them up obviously, then Vettel went to the back of Hamilton. I'm actually going to probably forget all this here because there was so much drama in the Baku Grand Prix, I probably end up going to forget. According to Vettel, Hamilton brake tested done, but showed evidence he didn't. And then we got underway. Perez was attacking Vettel, and then so was Massa, and to the turn when we went. Massa went down the inside, almost made the move on Sebastian Vettel, and it came so close to actually getting it done there. It would have been cool if Massa got it done, because it would have been maybe made the race a bit more spiced up a little bit. And obviously from the start we had Carlos Sainz, who retired, well not retired, who got hit round obviously according to his teammate. Ricciardo pitted early stages until lap 10, got past a lot of cars, went 3 wide with Sainz and the Sauber into the first corner. Unfortunately Max Verstappen's car broke down. As I said, I'm doing all this in different orders, guys. I'm actually forgetting a lot because there's so much drama, it's just unreal. So we headed to lap 16, obviously. Hamilton, according to Vettel, brake tested him, as I just mentioned. We got underway, and then it was Perez who was on the attack onto Sebastian Vettel. So we head down the pit straight. They went almost 3 wide. Massa got him into turn 1, and then Vettel somehow got the traction and got round. Then the two Force Indias collided into the next corner, and it was Perez's fault, obviously, or Ocon should I say, who turned into them, and the Force Indias came away with a lot of damage. And then the race got red flagged from that, obviously because there was too much debris. According to Alonso, we got underway on lap 23. Again, Vettel on the attack on Lewis Hamilton, almost got him into the first corner. Then we went about 4 wide on the straight, and then Ricciardo, out of nowhere, from 6th place, overtook like everybody in the first corner. And like, what a move that is, probably the best move of the season. And then we had almost a duel for the lead with Hamilton and Vettel, and then later on we headed to lap 25. Massa had a problem with his car, and then went 3 wide there with Magnussen, Hulkenberg as well. Magnussen got the move done. Hulkenberg hit the wall. He ended up retiring because it was suspension damage. Hamilton had problems with his headdress. That's just a shame, obviously, because that cost him the Grand Prix. Vettel had a 10-second penalty. They came out almost side by side. Hamilton tried to get the move done later on to the Grand Prix. Then later on Alonso said he could have won the race, which is very, very funny too. Had a wee scrap with Hamilton, Vettel. And then we headed later on, Bottas making his way up the field, passing Ocon for 3rd place. For some reason we didn't even know, and then Lance Stroll ended up landing in 2nd place at the moment. So how it went from lap 41 was Ricciardo, Stroll, Bottas, Ocon, Vettel, Hamilton, Magnussen, Alonso, Sainz and Ericsson. Was your top 10 as we headed into the end of the race. It just stayed like that. It was Ricciardo, Stroll, Bottas, or should I say it was Ricciardo, Bottas, Stroll, as Bottas got Stroll right on the line but inches, and then got 2nd place, with Hamilton inches away for getting Vettel on the line. A shame for Hamilton as well, with Vettel 4th, Hamilton 5th, Ocon 6th, but Ricciardo coming away with the victory in Baku. As we headed on to the Austrian Grand Prix now. So after Ricciardo's win in Baku, we headed on to the Austrian Grand Prix, and it was a decent race. We had to start off, and then we had Bottas, who made an absolutely fantastic start. Some folks say it's a jump start, but obviously according to it is not. Just on the lights, he's probably not human, Bottas, that's why. Headed into the first corner, Bottas was gone as a flash. Contact between Daniel Kvyat, Alonso and Verstappen. They were all out. Believe it was Alonso was out, Verstappen was out. All the Dutch fans were going absolutely crazy because obviously Verstappen was out. And then obviously later on we headed on a little bit, and it was Lewis Hamilton was the main man to get past everybody, because obviously he has to make his way up the field. And then yeah, as I said, as we started on lap 1, obviously we had Ricciardo overtook about 3 cars into the next corner and pushed Raikkonen out wide. Hamilton done his best to get past a couple people. It was working a little bit. But yeah, later on it was all calming down, nothing was happening till about lap 41 should I say, so quite a long distance into the race. Bottas pitted, they stretched Raikkonen out. Bottas had to pass Raikkonen on track, which he did do. Raikkonen came out and then Hamilton made his pit stop. Then we headed into the late stage of the Grand Prix. Vettel, just like Russia, right behind Valtteri Bottas to take the win. What would happen? It was right close at the end with only 3 laps to go. Hamilton on lap 70 launched his first attack on Ricciardo for the final podium spot. Yeah, and he got a good slipstream onto the next straight, the next DRS straight. Almost made the move. He tried to go round the outside. Ricciardo covered him off. And then headed on to the final lap, it was even closer. What would happen as we headed into the last corner? It would be Valtteri Bottas, who did take the victory only just by Sebastian Vettel, as he made a couple mistakes at the last couple corners, with Ricciardo only holding on to that third place of Lewis Hamilton in the end. But now we're headed on to the British Grand Prix, one of my favourite Grand Prix of the season. A good race once again. Hamilton on pole from Raikkonen. And then Vettel. Raikkonen got a pretty decent start. We all thought Raikkonen got Hamilton to the first corner, but he didn't. So yeah, from there we all calmed down a little bit because Verstappen went round outside the Vettel, challenged Raikkonen to the next corner, couldn't get him, and then we had contact between the two Toro Rosso guys of Sainz and Kvyat. Quite a big crash there, as obviously Kvyat, the torpedo absolutely strikes again, goes wide, hits Sainz, and round they go spinning as Sainz collected another car on the track with the safety car deployed after that. Then after that, what happened there, we got restarted. Ricciardo tried to make the move on Romain Grosjean, got pushed out wide and lost quite a lot of positions. And then Bottas on the soft tank compound tyres passing Hülkenberg, and then we headed later on that he was going to challenge Verstappen and Vettel later on, and then we headed on to the main battle, which was for the podium spot as Vettel launched his first attack on Max Verstappen as we headed into the next corner at the end of Stowe. And now as we came through into the next corner, it would have been Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel who came wheel to wheel and forced each other off the track, but then Vettel done the undercut on Verstappen when he came in a bit earlier. Alonso retired, with Ricciardo making some brilliant moves on the Force Indias, flying past them. And then we had more moves of Ricciardo from past Magnussen at Copse. Then later on to the Grand Prix, Bottas and Vettel went wheel to wheel into the almost end of the straight, coming into the final few corners. Vettel locked up absolutely massively, and that affected his race from there. And what didn't help is after Bottas passed him, Raikkonen got a puncher right at the end. We thought it was all a shame for Raikkonen, bad luck for him again. Bottas got ahead into second, it was a Mercedes 1-2. The next lap after Raikkonen pits, you never know, it's Vettel who gets the puncher again, so 2 Ferraris get punchers in 2 laps. So in the end it was Lewis Hamilton who won the British Grand Prix from Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen rounding off the podium spot. It's a shame for Verstappen who pitted on the last lap, because he could have actually came home and got a podium, I believe, which is a real shame for him. But yeah, we headed on to the Hungarian Grand Prix, the final race before we head to mid-season now. And yeah, pretty interesting Grand Prix, not the best obviously we've seen for a while. And it was 2 Ferraris who were on the front row as we headed into the first corner. Raikkonen came close to Vettel, challenging him. Then absolutely chaos unfolds as the 2 Red Bulls collide, with Verstappen hitting Ricciardo, which damaged his radiator and it was smoking. Headed through to the next corner and Ricciardo spins in the middle of the track, with somehow Palmer not hitting to the back of him, because Palmer inches away from disaster there. But then we came on later on to the Grand Prix as the safety car came out, and then with the restart, and then Hamilton got a good exit at the final corner, tried to battle Verstappen at the first corner, getting a good tow. Verstappen moved to that side of the track, same with Alonso, he was battling away with Carlos Sainz as well. Hamilton came so close to getting Verstappen into the next corner, but unfortunately did not get him. As the race calmed down a couple laps later into lap 25, it would be Vettel and Raikkonen who were inches and inches away from each other, as Raikkonen massively closed up to the back of him. Yeah, and same with Lewis Hamilton, the Ferrari started to slow down a little bit, and the Mercedes just absolutely came alive after they all pitted. Hamilton lost his radio, but eventually got it back and explained everything to his engineer a couple of laps later. Then we moved on, Alonso and Sainz still scrapping away. Alonso goes round outside the Sainz. Verstappen later pits, takes his 10-second penalty for Ricciardo. It's a shame because he could have been in with the fight at the end, which is a complete race ruiner. then we skipped later on once again onto about lap 50 odds, and it was getting even closer. It was a 4-way battle for the win actually, but unfortunately it was for because of the turbulent air at this track, it just doesn't work out, and we couldn't get a lot overtaken. And then we moved later on. Hamilton was got let past by Valtteri Bottas because he obviously Billy had the faster car, and he caught up to the back of Raikkonen to lap 59. He was into the DRS, he couldn't make the move, and he was in with the chance of the lead, but just as I said, turbulent air, he made a couple of mistakes, and that was it. I just really hate this turbulent air thing with these cars this year. It kind of ruins the races sometimes. Then we had some drama between Hulkenberg and Magnussen, as Magnussen forced Hulkenberg off the track at the end. We had a really cool interview as Magnussen told Hulkenberg to suck his balls, with Hulkenberg striking back to Magnussen, call him something else. I'm not sure what it was, but he said something he was a thingy for Verstappen. I'm not sure what it was, but it was in a bad way. Yeah, but so that was getting really feisty. But then Vettel in the end just won the Hungarian Grand Prix from Raikkonen. The last 20 laps just stayed the same. And then Hamilton let past Bottas at the final corner because of obviously he's a team player and he agreed to do it, and he just came lucky with Verstappen almost at the end getting him. Yeah, so that was that. So now the Drivers' Championship is obviously looking much different now. Vettel comes back and extends his championship lead there, so it's looking very good for Sebastian Vettel, not so much for Hamilton. Can Hamilton come back at the second half of the season? We will not know. But we'll eventually know, as I said, in the coming weeks when F1 comes back. And so it's going to be a really exciting F1 2017 season to end. It's going to be very exciting, as I said. But yeah, what do you think of the 2017 season? I think it's turned out to be our best season I've seen for quite a long year, a couple of years yet, especially from at least 2014 or even 12 or so. Much better than last year, much better than the year before. But yeah, it's turned out to be a fantastic season, guys. We might have a couple boring races, as I said, but as I said, most of the season's been exciting with Ferrari versus Mercedes. Obviously we're heading into the Hungary testing there with Robert Kubica making his return, so could we see him in 2018? We never know. It's going to be fantastic to see him back in the sport and replace Julian Palmer, which would be good as well, because we need another good driver, which was in F1 7 years ago, back up there. But yeah, as I said, this has been the F1 2017 mid-season review. Yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want me to do more videos like this. I will do so because obviously I'm going to make up for this because I've never done the Hungarian GP reaction. I forgot to do that actually. I was busy doing another video, so I've just included it in this. Basically, I just added it to be like that, so I count it as a reaction video for Hungary too. But yeah, it's turning out to be a good season, and yeah, that's the video here. Yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching this video, leaving a like, commenting and subscribing to the channel. Make sure to help me get 10,000 subscribers in the future, that would be fantastic. But yeah, that's been the video here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.